This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. We're at Waring Associates. Since 1986, they have emerged as one of the leading interior design firms in Denver. Let me ask you, Karin, obviously 1986, you guys have been here for some time. What got you involved in this industry?
Well, initially, we were having an economy about like it is now, and so we actually started the company because there were no architectural or design jobs, and the company we were working for was going out of business.
I take a look at a lot of the portfolios there you have online, some beautiful work and projects that you accomplished throughout the years. Obviously, at a lot of those things there, they start out with an idea, a design. Let me ask you, what takes place at that initial consultation?
Well, I think one way we differentiate ourselves, we feel like our projects aren't predictable and they don't look like us. They don't look like Waring Associates. They represent our clients. And so we try to really be good listeners to our clients, and it's their image we're trying to project, not ours. And oftentimes you'll see firms where all their projects start to look the same because they have similar solutions for every kind of design in a can, but we try to be more representative of what our clients' image is, not our image.
So you're talking about a very customized and personal approach that you take with each client.
Right, and there's a lot of what we call programming that goes into that so that we really understand what drives their business and what's important to them and what their culture is about so that we can represent that through their interiors.
At the beginning, how important is the feasibility study as far as making sure you stay on budget and the client understands basically what the projects will entail?
It's the success or death of a project. If you over-design and suddenly the budget is anybody can design with an unlimited budget. It is everything, and it's the only thing that keeps me employed, is being able to drive a project into the client's budget. Anyone can do a great job if budget is no object. It's always an object, and it's a difficult balance to get the aesthetics right and get the budget.
Speaking of aesthetics, the design, are these computer-aided designs that you're now able to provide?
Right. Everything we do is on CAD. It's all computer aided. And we were probably one of the first firms in Denver to be completely automated and do all of our work on CAD. We quickly saw, as that was coming into play in the 80s, that was obviously the way of the future, and now it's the only way.
Speaking of the AutoCAD system that you provide, it doesn't stop at the design, does it? Basically, we're talking complete all phases of the project. Is that right?
Right. Everything is done on the computer, but that doesn't eliminate the creativity and the ability to draw and the ability to create manually. That's still an important feature. And I think sometimes the more automated we get, the more rigid the whole process becomes, and you can't relate to it as much. So we still like to have the tangible drawings and be able to hand draw and sketch in front of our clients at a meeting. The process just has a little more.
So literally an extension of your creativity, you use the tool.
Right, exactly.
Obviously the design gets the go-ahead, you get the green light. We now move into construction phase. Are you able to offer construction management as well on site?
We do construction management. It's always an option because many of our clients will work for property managers that have construction managers in-house, or the property manager themselves manage the construction. So it's always an option, something that we're very qualified to do.
And you're able to take care of the building standards, compliance, ADA, everything that takes place there.
Right, that's really our job. I mean, we're really the watchdog for all of those elements, and it really what makes or breaks a project. You don't want to have any of those issues come up after the fact.
Obviously, from A to Z, you've got the clients taken care of, all the way down to the furniture specs, the carpet, the floor coverings, you name it.
Right. Well, we have great vendors and suppliers that come and call on us and bring us our library, and so we've got great contacts when we need special projects.
How much input are you able to give there to the clients as far as color, schematics, and that type of thing?
The most important thing is have a well-formulated design before you ever start meeting with the client. We learned that early on. If you give them too many choices, it will just run amok and it will just take its own shape. And so if you really can have a few solid ideas pulled together with a lot of reason behind it, then it's a pretty easy sell.
Obviously, a lot of the projects you've been successful with are from ground zero. We're talking from construction all the way through. A lot of times, though, what about an as-built? What about possibly somebody wants to do a building rebrand? Is that a possibility as well?
That's a lot of what we do. As-built is in every day of our lives, and that's the most critical part of the design process, is to get that existing condition right. Because if that's not right, then as you continue to try to build and design on it, you're constantly having to adapt to an incorrect as-built. And that we have taken over a lot of projects from other competitors because their as-builts were not correct.
Speaking of adapting, what about historical landmarks being here in Denver? Is that something you're pretty well acquainted with?
We've done a fair amount of those, but remodeling, re-imaging, rebranding projects, that's more what we do. We'll take a building that was built in the 70s or even earlier and that's just a little bit tired, that has had owners that haven't spent the money, and we'll get an owner that's more aggressive that wants to really upgrade that image. We're working on several of those right now.
Folks, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You're going to see their website right there. On the website, you're going to see a lot of the capabilities they're able to provide for you right there. You're also going to see complete resumes of their team and their staff here, a lot of them with over 10 years of experience in the industry as well. You're also going to be able to look at the portfolios online there, that some of their past projects are really going to get your creativity juices flowing, if you will. Obviously, to the overall success of a project, I imagine a lot of times these builder owners want to put tenants inside. How are you able to help them as far as marketing to those tenants?
Well, I really think we are an extension of their marketing, and we understand what their budgets are, what their goals are, what the tenant mix is, and so when we meet across the table with the broker and the tenant, it really is our job to have the tenant be able to visualize how they will fit in that building and why that works better for them than anything else they've seen that day.
With over 25 plus years out there, once again, like you said, what really sets you apart is possibly taking their idea, making it theirs, and making it happen rather than basically forcing something on them that the firm has.
Right. It's a fine line because you have to work within their budget, but it has to feel like home to them. I mean, people are at their offices as more than they're at their homes, so it really needs to work for them to make the culture of their office work.
Is someone, a viewer out there who's thinking about bringing on the firm, what would you leave them with?
Well, what I would say is I think it's always good to interview various firms and see who you connect with well from a personality standpoint and who you think really has your best interest in mind. But I think the way we get our projects, we don't have a huge marketing effort. It's really through referrals from previous clients, and so when we have an interview, we will align those clients with similar projects that we've done, and typically that's all it takes for us to get the project.
Like you said, the market was a little bit different when you first started out. Tell me, how are you able to help folks out there as they're looking at buildings as well?
Well, I think the main thing when somebody's looking to buy a building, it's to understand what they're buying. And so we can help a new owner evaluate if the square footage is what it is proposed to be in the proposal that they get, if the if the building standards and the tenant finish that is in place, if it has the value that can really help them going forward in renovating the buildings. And then we put budgets, we can put preliminary budgets together as to what it will really take to get lobbies and common areas in the right shape so that they can release and have some success with the building. So before they even buy it, we can give them a lot of tools to help make that decision on price.
So really a peace of mind with due diligence then.
Right, exactly.
Folks, once again, that is Waring Associates, space planning and interior design. Basically, since 1986, they have been an independent leading interior design firm. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.